What's up, Home Slices? It's Karen with Home Slice Adulting, coming to you with a late edition of Driving Home. Driving Home is a vlog series that I do typically on Friday evening after I leave work for the week, because of course there's no better feeling than getting off of work on Friday and knowing that you don't have to go back the next day. Now, yesterday I was well, today's actually Sunday. So on Friday, I was just too mad to even come to you all with anything. I made some travel arrangements, made the arrangements for the wrong date, and found out that basically we probably were going to lose money on that. Things ended up working out for the best, praise God, thank you, Lord. But I was just too mad to come to you all on Friday and Saturday. I was busy cleaning up the house, and we're also dog sitting. So taking care of two dogs is exponentially harder than taking care of one. So anyways, later on today, stay tuned for my review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I've already watched the episode like all the way through, but I didn't take notes, so I'm going to kind of quickly fast forward and watch it again because some interesting things happen, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you for clicking on this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone who you think will enjoy it. Now, first things first, I feel super cute today. Okay, I feel extra cute. I got my new glasses yesterday, and aren't they like just so unique and pretty, and like I feel like they go with my face really well. I feel cute. Anyways, so I usually talk about what's going on in my own personal life. Every once in a while I'll touch on some stuff that's in the media, and that's something that I'm gonna do today. Let's talk about T.I. Okay, you guys, I have always had a sort of ambivalence toward T.I. Okay, back in the day when T.I. first came out, he had a beef with Lil Flip, who is from Houston and who is also nowhere to be found as far as his celebrity is concerned. But I'm from Houston. I like Lil Flip. I'm under the impression that I met him before as a kid, not really sure. So starting off, T.I. kind of bothered me, okay, because he had a beef with, somebody from my hometown. But years have passed. I like a few, I like some of T.I.'s music. I'm not a huge rap fan, but I do like some of T.I.'s music. But the overall problem with him is that he's just like weird. There's something about him that's just odd. I never really watched the T.I. and Tiny show. The fact that he, consistently cheated on his wife, and there was a double standard there, and they're always breaking up and getting back together. There's just something about him that is a little icky. It's hard to describe, and it's not like he's not a good rapper, but he hasn't really put out any music in a while. It's not like he, didn't put out the movie ATL, which is, pretty much a hood classic, and the movie's good. But there's just something about him as a person that makes him like a little bit slimy. It's very hard to describe. And I think this is the greatest exhibition of what I'm talking about. Like, if you ever have a feeling about somebody and like it's really hard to describe, and they finally do something that shows what you think about that person, that's kind of like how it happened for me. So T.I. went on some radio show, podcast, whatever, and I don't even know what the context of the conversation was, but in this situation, it's not really important. He says that like every year or so, he goes to the OBGYN with his daughter to make sure that her hymen is still intact. And as a woman, you know what the hymen is, but it's like this membrane that's inside of you, inside of like your uterine wall or something like that. And typically when it's broken typically after you have your first penetrative sexual encounter. broken, there's blood. It's like kind of made of blood. And so when people say popping your cherry, that's like typically what they mean. But your hymen can break for other reasons. And that doesn't mean that she's not having sex via other means, like anal sex or oral sex. So anyways, the premise is stupid. Okay, the fact that he feels like he can, as an 18-year-old girl, the fact that he thinks that he has the right to know about what she's doing with her body to that extent, particularly now that she is 18, is just disgusting. Like, what makes you think that you have ownership, so much ownership over your child, that as an adult you go and make sure that she's still a virgin? What kind of double standard is that? Like, not only is it not necessarily an accurate way to tell if she is a virgin, just the idea that you think that you have so much authority over her body that she can't do with it what she wants is terrible. And I think another aspect of it that, like, a lot of people are not talking about is that T.I. has, like, resources. And by resources, I mean money. At some point, his daughter could probably say, no, I'm an adult now. You can't have access to my medical records. You can't come to the OBGYN with me. And I am going to, I am not going to tell you when I'm going, and I'm going to go, and the doctor won't be able to release the records to you. But is T.I. going to use the fact that he has resources to incentivize his daughter providing that information to him? It sounds silly for a young woman to allow her father to have that much access to her medical records and to have that much control over her life without there being some incentive. Did he say something like, I'm going to cut you off if you don't allow me to do this to you? It's just so disgusting. It's disgusting that he has such this toxic masculinity, this toxic male gaze, that he thinks that he has so much ownership over his daughter's body that he can be privy to her medical records, be privy to her sexual history. It just disgusts me. And not to say that an 18-year-old should be sexually active, but the point is that when you become an adult, you get to do with your life what you want to do with your life. It's better for you to teach your child about what happens when you have a child at a young age. It's better for you to teach them about safe sex and contraceptives. It's better for you to have these preventative, open, and honest conversations than for you to have this kind of punitive, big brother checking in on me all the time, because there are ways around that. Again, if she knows that you're going to check her hymen every year, then maybe she just has anal sex or just has oral sex, which in a lot of ways, outside of, there are other consequences or negative consequences to having sex besides pregnancy, which are STDs. STDs, depending on which ones they are actually more dangerous through non-vaginal means of sex than others. So not only are you creating this like punitive thing where your daughter's sexual behavior is guided by the fact that you are like being so yucky about it and so possessive about something that belongs to her. Whether she's a virgin or not, whatever her sexual history is something that's hers. And that's a problem that I have with a lot of the toxic masculinity, is this type of ownership over what a woman does, or what a woman says, what a woman wears. That if you wear a certain thing, if your body is not a certain way, if you engage in too many sexual activities, you are looked at less than, because it's not ladylike for you to have a bunch bunch of sexual partners. It's not becoming of a woman to do this or to wear this, to be too revealing. But men love when women are revealing their bodies. But if they reveal their bodies too much, they're not deserving to be their wives. There's the whore Madonna complex. Or Madonna whore, I think is what it's called. That if a woman is too promiscuous, if a woman is too out there sexually or whatever, men love it, but they will never make that woman his wife. And then vice versa. And it's just a big double standard. What makes you think that you should have ownership over an adult woman's body? And that instead of being chill about it, you're incentivizing other risky behavior as well. And who knows what goes along with that. Whether or not he wants to pull support from her if he can't have his way. I really don't get it. It's disgusting how protective men are over what belongs to them. And then will cheat on his wife flagrantly. You cheat on Tiny all the time. The Tiny T.I. saga is one that we are all well aware of. How dare you try to put so many limitations on your daughter when, number one, of course you're not taking the same precautions with your sons. Of course not. I know for sure that you aren't going to check and make sure that your sons ain't got no STDs every year, which is actually like a good idea. But of course you're not doing that. Because it's not about you being a protective father, because you would be just as protective of your sons. It's not about you being a protective father. It's about you having ownership over your daughter's body because she is a young woman. And that's the problem that I have. If he was like that across the board, daughters or sons, fine. But we know he's not. I'm sick and tired of the double standards. I'm over it. There's two ways that you get rid of double standards. You either lean one way or you lean the other way. So in this instance, to eliminate a double standard, he can either relax the expectations for his daughter, stop going to the OBGYN with her, stop being so concerned with her hymen and what's going on with her sexual activity, and treat her the same way that he treats his boys. Or he can ramp up how much he pays attention to his son's sexual activities and their sexual exploits. Okay, so either you go all the way and treat all of them the same, and have them all fulfill the same expectations going to the doctor with them as well, or you treat her like you've been doing the boys. And I understand that like life is not fair. Women get the short end of the stick all the time, particularly when it comes to career and earning money and things along those lines. You shouldn't have to worry about that in your own family. The world is hard enough on women. Biology is hard enough on women. I've told y'all about me struggling with PCOS. PCOS is freaking terrible. And it messes up a lot of things for me. And it's painful. And even if I didn't have PCOS, I would still have a period and cramps every month. I would still have the wonderful experience of eventually having children and going through childbirth. And then, and then I am getting my, MBA. And I'm the only black woman in my cohort. And it's like, life is hard enough for me as a woman. I don't make as much as a man. If I try to make as much as a man, I have to deal with the fact that I'm in a male-dominated industry. As a black woman, it's extra difficult being discriminated against on the basis of being a woman and being a black woman. It's hard enough. It's hard enough being a woman when it comes to your career, when it comes to your biology. The last thing I need is for it to be hard for me to be a woman in my own family. that kind of hit home for me a little bit. It's hard enough being a black woman in the world. The last thing I need is to have the additional stress and the additional embarrassment for his 18-year-old daughter, for everyone that she knows, to know that her father is going to the OBGYN with her to make sure that she is still a virgin. And the impact that that has on a young woman who's just become an adult. It's hard enough being a young black woman in this world than for her to have to deal with that stuff within her own family, within the confines of her own home, or within, under the home that she lives under. It's just disgusting, and all of the implications behind that. Women own their own bodies. We have enough autonomy. We have enough agency to take care of ourselves. We don't need to be taken care of. If we want to have somebody beside us, great. Because I, want to have somebody beside me. I would love to have a husband. But I don't need him to tell me what to do and rule over me. I'm still a very capable human being. But I'm happy to be in a partnership. I have a dad. I don't need another one. Okay? And even so, once you become an adult, you should have enough autonomy and agency, and people need to back off. It's just yucky. Anyways, let me get off my high horse. So I am almost home, y'all. This has been the latest installment of Riding Home. Let me know what you think about T.I.'s parenting philosophy when it comes to his daughter's virginity. Do you think that that it's understandable that he would want to do it, but that he's going about it the wrong way? Do you think that he just shouldn't do it altogether, and there's no reason that he should be so concerned about what's going on with his daughter, and that she will suffer the consequences of her own actions at some point? Do you think that men in general, or fathers in general, should be so protective of their daughters that they should engage in stuff like this? Just let me know your thoughts down below in the box. Thank you for watching. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone who you think will enjoy it. Peace out.